discrimination in the workplace with a $16 million lawsuit. Ellen Paul says that she was denied a promotion because she couldn't break into the boys' club of tech world, but her former company Silicon Valley says that she just didn't deserve it. The lawsuit claimed, among other allegations, that they were unwanted sexual harassment in the workplace, retaliation against her after an ending affair with a married co-worker, and uncomfortable conversations about pornography, and she even received an inappropriate gift containing erotic imagery. She was often left out from any social engagements, meetings, and also gatherings. It turned out that the company claims that it was not the boy club who made the Paul got fired, but a poor performance, a sense of entitlement, and not being a good team player. The firm claimed that Paul's description was mostly managerial and that limiting her involvement, and therefore it was not a form of discrimination. Paul made the choice to stand up for herself and women in general when her senior partner was non-committal to the demand of the firm's treatment of women. She voiced her values after all the unfair treatment she was presented with. There are some events that led her to voice her values. This includes men with similar profiles and achievements being promoted over her, harassment at the job, being excluded to meetings and gatherings because she was a female, and many more. Plus, Kleiner Perkins discriminated against her on the basis of gender by failing to promote her and retaliated against her by terminating her employment. Once she was fired, she then came up voicing her values by filing a lawsuit against them in hopes of bettering the working environment for women. Even after losing the case, her impact was noticeable through the working industry. She prompted the debate about leveling the playing field. The build-up of all the events that happened just made her being fired give her an incentive to voice her statements. She voiced her values by continuously fighting for her rights and making the situation more recognized and aware by the public.
Actively because she acts on her own values and her story was told to the public. Her lawsuit between the employer Kleiner Perkins made it more recognized and aware by others. Therefore, it also can ensure that this situation will not happen again because the cost incurred by the organization for the lawsuit was also expensive. Even Paul lost the lawsuit, but I am sure it affected the organization itself, even though her speak up not give effect for herself, but she had changed the previous negative environment for others in future. No, it will not impact my reasoning because her action was right on behalf of women out there. Discrimination of women and sexual harassment was not something new for us, but it keeps happens nowadays. It was not good for workplace environment, and this situation must not be unheard and ignored by the society. However, Paul's case has since been credited for inspiring others facing workplace discrimination to act. Pillars number 1. Values. Ellen Paul filed a lawsuit against her employer Kleiner Perkins on grounds of gender discrimination, and Paul voiced out for herself and women in general when her senior partner was non-committal to the demand of the firm's treatment of women. Pillars number 2. Choice. Ellen Paul took the gender issue a step further and wrote formal memorandum to several of her superiors and firms outside counsel. Pillars number 3. Normalization. Ellen Paul experienced a situation where men were promoted ahead of women. Women who experienced sexual harassment received little support, and women's ideas were often more quickly dismissed than men's. Pillars number 4. Purpose. Ellen Paul wants to bring Kleiner Perkins to the right path and equal opportunities for women and men environment. PAO also thinks it is important to make those opportunities available in future and make sure that her story was told. Pillars number 5. Self-knowledge and alignment. PAO made claims that they retaliate by failing to promote her because of conversations she had in late 2011 and memo that she wished to improve conditions for women. She also claimed that they failed to take all reasonable steps to prevent gender discrimination against her, and they retaliate against her by terminating her employment because of those reasons. Pillars number 6. Voice. Ellen PAO claimed she had been excluded from meetings by male partners and ascertained an absence of training and policies to prevent discrimination at the firm. PAO also voiced up for the women's rights. Pillars number 7. Reason and rationalization. Ellen PAO indicated that she wished to work with the firm on improving conditions for women. PAO explained that she sued because there was no process for the human resource issues at firm and believed she had exhausted all options for addressing this issue internally. She also anticipated that her voice cannot challenge the organization and she was fired on 1st October 2012. There are 3 pillars that I think PAO could have engaged more effectively. Firstly, purpose and value pillars. Her purpose is to fight for the women's right and equal opportunity for women and men available in future of Cleaner Perkins. In my opinion, these 2 pillars have engaged more effectively than others because her story was told to the public. Even though she lost, but I am sure somebody will learn from the lesson. In fact, PAO case who has been credited for inspiring others facing workplace discrimination to act. That's why I think these 2 pillars is more effectively engaged. Next, self-knowledge and alignment. It is more effective because PAO have courage to speak up even it might not impact the final solution because her voice was so minimal compared to everyone else. However, she speaks up based on her own values, principles, and knowledge. Therefore, it was successfully communicated to the superiors of the organization even it resulted to her loss in the lawsuit. But she was the risk taker that benefited in future.
If I were in PAO's position at Cleaner Perkins, what I would have done is that I will voice my opinion on the gender discrimination and will take a legal procedure to the company. This is because when we avoid these matters, it will become a normalization to the workers in the companies. I think that if we are not looking through these matters, it will become a habit or culture in the workplace. Respect and equality is important in the organization. If someone violates this, they can be taken on legal procedures. Pillars of GVV can help of those who are scared or do not know what should they do if they are facing these kinds of problem or any kinds of problems in the workplace. These pillars can give them a guide to ensure that what kind of action should they take. Based on the case study, I will highlight one of the pillars that is self-knowledge and alignment. That is the 5th pillars of GVV. In each case, it is important to identify strategies for dealing with ethical issues that are true to our own personality. For PAO's case, I think that she has done a great job for herself that she knows that the company has discriminated her as the employee. The action that she has took has shown that she knows how to voice and act in the situation by making a memorandum to the high-ups and took a legal procedure to the organization. Based on the information in the case study, if I were a juror, I would have ruled in favor of PAO. This is because of the fact on the performance records that the defendant has shown to the court that this actually can be an evidence of a gender discrimination. Harvard study in 2017 found that if someone has received a discrimination in their workplace, their performance will be deteriorating than someone who did not receive it. This because it will affect the mood the environment, the motivation of the victims to serve in the company. As PAO has a bad performance as what the company has told, it may have happened because of the discrimination that she has gone through in the company. And how about her mental state? The court can have ordered a mental health assessment from PAO. Usually when a person has been through a discrimination, it will affect their mental health. So by ordering a mental health assessment from the victim can be a major evidence that will support the victim.
For question 6. No, I have not, but if I ever have that kind of experience, I need to make sure the facts. First of all, I need to check either it is true or not, as I cannot accusing people without evidence. The unethical behavior might against the company policy or perhaps industry practice. Then I can try to find the witnesses as a proof and can bring the person or authority to report. I also have to follow company procedure on reporting unethical behavior. Before that, I need to report to the supervisor first, but if the supervisor behaving unethically, I should report to someone above them. To be prepared, I need to make sure that the company has the policy that will protect the workers that are facing the unethical behavior and can take action immediately. For question 7, I witnessed a few discrimination at the workplace, especially gender bias. Gender bias or gender inequality should not happen in any company. If I was the owner of the company, I will make sure that my organization provides proper training on gender equality to all management personnel and supervisors. Managers also need to be taught on how to handle with and prevent from happening again in the future. I will also have to make sure that my company has clear policies for them to follow, and this will ensure that gender discrimination does not occur.